All right, so I want to talk about a concept that I have been thinking about a lot, and I have a story to go with it, but it's the power of you. If you never heard of this, or if you were getting the copywriting, you may have heard of this, or maybe not even heard of it, the power of using the keyword you. Now, I have found it very powerful, but I've only just recently realized how powerful it is, especially since I'm getting into learning how to persuasively write for people to take action. And so I got a story with this, and I've heard it from various sources over time, but I haven't heard tons of people really go in depth about it. And I feel like this is a missed opportunity for many, especially for those and business owners who don't know about this. It's an absolute game changer. I know it's completely changed the way we're looking at headlines, how I'm writing, and just really dressing people to convince them to sale. So let me go to the Miro board here because I got a really good and interesting story that I think many people could maybe resonate with. So we're gonna put this in hypotheticals here because I would never do this. But I was actually part of a frat, and I was driving the frats about to, I think it was like to a bar or something. And so we're in this car, right? And we're going pretty fast. Like we'll say you could imagine a number, a fictitious number, but going pretty fast in my Dodge Charger. And so I'm driving, of course, I'm driving right here because we're in the US. And so this guy in the passenger seat, square, if you want to call him that, this guy in the passenger seat, he looks over to me. He's like, and by the way, this guy I absolutely love. He's fun to hang around. He's definitely someone who's like a party animal. But for some reason, this specific moment just stuck out to me, and I don't know why. I have an indication, which I'm going to give you kind of my hypothesis on, but I don't know 100% why. But he turns over to me, and like there's other people in the back, but they're talking whatever. They're talking back and forth. But he turns over to me. He's like, "You a little speed demon, huh?" And like as I laughing a little bit, I'm like, "Yeah, I like this. I like to drive pretty fast, or whatever." And I just remember that moment. It stuck out to me. The other day I was thinking about it. I'm like, why did it stick out to me? And I think it went back to what he said. He said, "You are a little." And so I really thought about this. I'm like, man, like why did that specific moment stand out compared to other times I've hanged out with him? And I was like, it can't be the driving. Like, yeah, I like the fast driving, but like I really crucially thought about it. And it's just recently that like I watched a video from vidIQ. If you don't know what vidIQ is, it's actually the top probably learning platform for YouTube for just like terms of tools, and it's like a learning place and all that for like SEO, all that. And the top creators use it. The reason I say vidIQ now is because there's a thing called Creator now that like came before it. vidIQ was still a thing. By Just want to be clear about that. But let me do this. Let me switch over. But specifically, Creator now had like this own platform. It was actually, I think, Era create I think co-founded it, or was the co-person of it, whatever you want to call it. And so there's a creator who was talking about short form and how people grab attention, really grab your attention, and he mentioned the keyword you. I didn't really think about it. He also mentioned some other words like we. Have you guys noticed, or you just call it like like someone's name. You could say someone's name directly. You could say you could say us, or have you noticed, or you can call out pretty much the identity, whatever it may be. It grabs their attention. Now, I didn't really think about it, but I mean, Copywriting Secrets talks about it. Great book if you're just learning to learn copywriting. Mentions it, and a couple other sources I've come across have talked about it. But I think it really went back to the keyword you. And when you really kind of distill it down, why does that work? Why does the keyword you grab attention? And this is what I could kind of guess or kind of take from it is it's like calling out someone's name. When you say someone's name, like for example, my name is Brennan, and someone says, "Hey Brennan," I'm like instantly captures my attention because my name, I have been conditioned to respond to my name because it usually has some implication to me. It'll have an implication, whether it may be a threat or it may be something that's favorable. So it's either one or the other. So let me kind of do this a little nicer. Threats or, and so when you think about this, the reason why we have names is to be able to distinguish one over the other. And so when we think about this truthfully, this is the reason why we respond to names. But that still doesn't answer the big overarching question. Why does you, the keyword you, do the same thing? Why does it have the same effects of it? Well, by association, this is still of subcontext of your name. So you could say, or a sub bracket, if you want to call it, of you. You kind of goes to the same thing because if you think about it, if someone doesn't know your name, they're going to say, hey, you in the black jacket. If I was wearing a black jacket and I was walking the street and he sounded pissed, I would pay attention because I know that's a direct threat. Or that's probably not favorable for me. That's a direct threat. And so that's why a lot of times in business, when I'm on calls with clients and that, they always mention or talking about the I always hear say that's why you need to get on top of this. That's why you need to get this finished today. I need this by tomorrow from you. And so it always, the key word is kind of like a sub branch of your name. It is really. And so it goes back to pretty much this exact thing. It could be favorable or a threat. And so that's when I really think about in my mind why it works so well is that main reason. I want to give you an actual real life example of actually using it in business. So for this one client that I was talking about, well, not talking about, but kind of hinting at was like talking about using you and talking like that. When you really think about it, well, not really think about it, but we were talking about headlines for our sales page, and I just want to give you kind of like an idea of what we're kind of working with. So we'll just do this, add a border, working on like a landing page pretty much for our for what we're doing. And let's make this thickness. So this is kind of the landing page. This is like top of the or the hero image with above the fold. If you don't know what above the fold is, pretty much the initial frame you land on, and anything that requires you to scroll past it to get down to see it, that's below the fold. So basically, we're working on a title and we're talking about it, and we're like, okay, we're talking about specifically being able to navigate the future, see the future, whatever it may be, right? And so when we're talking about that, we're kind of like pitching some ideas like navigate the future. I'm like, huh. I'm on a call with a couple other guys, and we're like, navigate the future. Like, yeah, that's good. And I was like, thinking about it, I'm like, how can we make this better though? How we could make this like more like emotional, have more impact to it? And we kind of spitball through all the stuff, and we did have copy below this, like, and all that. But I was like, how can we make this more like pressing? And I'm like, what if we didn't say, instead of navigate the future, we said navigate your, and we capitalize all of it. Because the future, the thing is, like, cool, navigate the future, but but isn't it more powerful you say navigate your future? If it's more personalized, that's what people want. They want more personalized, and they want to know that they can instantly take what you're giving them, the information you're giving them, and they can directly use it for them. They don't really care about this general overview, blah, blah, blah. What can they do to take from it to be able to impact their future? And the guys, we did it, and the guy was like, yeah, this is a lot more powerful. And this is what we did in our kind of subtext and all that. And that's actually another reason, kind of a side point, we have we you have eyebrow copy. And if you don't know what eyebrow copy, it's pretty much every the little small line usually above your main headline. So you have this, and then usually have like your big kind of like subtext sub headline here. This is called eyebrow because it's like above the eyes, eyebrow. And so usually a lot of times you ask like a question, or you ask like or you state who you're trying to talk to. So in this case, a lot of times people say, "Hey business owners," or "Hey business owners," or "For business owners," for business owners who's doing 10K per month, or for entrepreneurs. And the reason you do that, you call out an identity, is because it's the same thing of saying their name. It has a very similar effect because they identify themselves. It's a I won't say byproduct, but it's extension of himself. So you got to think about when the you is an extension of that person. The identity is the extension of that name of that person. So take note of that because it's very interesting in how that works. Because once you understand this truthfully, it's going to be so powerful and change how you really write your sale, how you write like your stuff on your business, and pretty much overall how you look at stuff. And so you'll start to notice that a lot of times, like a lot of commercials, ads, emails will say stuff like "you" because of how powerful they understand it. And so this is just a concept I thought about and really kind of really thought about, especially with this situation right here, where I was like, why was it so powerful? It was because you is what makes the huge difference here. And so I just felt like the need to make this video because I haven't seen too much people talk about this. And honestly, you can use it anywhere. Like, what are the implication? How you can use it today? Easy. Just look at your copy and say, hey, when do I ever mention the word I, my, my, me? If you did, remove it, remove it, remove it. Don't use that. It's kind of like if you ever wrote it, I would kind of leave this final point. If you ever wrote an essay, I don't know, maybe just more relevant to me because I got out of college, but if you ever wrote an essay, you were never really supposed to talk about like using like I, my, we, you, we, like all the our, never of that stuff. But in this case, you can use, by all means, use you, or you can even use like us. Think the secret is you can use us. Now the reason why would you use us over you? Well, if you want to kind of do a us versus them kind of framework or idea, that 100% works. You kind of say, hey, I understand you. I'm on the same team as you. I understand the pain, the problems, and all that stuff you've been through. And kind of just as Russell Brunson, I don't even have the book up here, talks about, it's kind of like you casting stones at the other methods out there that just don't work, that they have probably experienced and had trouble with. And obviously that didn't work for them because they wouldn't be here then. And so when you do that, you kind of identify with them and say, hey, I'm on your side here. And so the keyword us works 100% and is definitely powerful to use. Even saying was we works a lot better. We actually is a little more better um, compared to you. I would say we is a little bit lower in the top totem pole, I would say, just off the top of my head. Compared, like you is the most powerful. Like, well, name, if you can get with the person's name, that's the most powerful. But then you go to like you, and then you can go down to like maybe us if you frame this correctly. Like as you go down, like it's like harder to like implement, I would say. Like it's like fewer case scenarios you can use. Obviously this, like if this would be hyper specialized, but as you go down, you kind of get less and less specialized with it. We works better than I, and that's why a lot of times if you're talking about agency, you always say we versus I will help you, unless just specifically they want someone individual like you compared to a team helping them, then yeah, you, us, we, pretty much that's it. So it's like, let's say you, would say also probably like identity of a person is just it's equal. I would say almost as equal as that name in you. It falls in between somewhere here. I'm not going to be very hyper specific on it, but this is just kind of a rant that I thought was actually valuable and could help you guys. So if you found this valuable, 100%, definitely use it in your own and what you're doing. I found it valuable for me, and I thought it was worth sharing about because I don't see tons of people talking about this, and I don't think they go into this much depth into how to actually use it and when to use it. Maybe I should show examples. I want to try to give as much value here, and maybe using some of the examples next time in the future could help. I thought just an everyday scenario, if someone's even using an everyday scenario, it works. It makes sense why it works, and I just find it interesting. So get after it. Start using you in your own copy and your own writing, and be interested to see how that directly impacts what you are doing in your results. So let me know if it helps, and I'll see you in the next video.